Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another fan. Wait, oh man, I forgot. I always do this. The following is another fantastic episode of 15 Minutes of Fandom brought to you by the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He's the trickle dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Base, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, 50 Minutes of Fandom is not about us. You see, what we do is we take the spotlight and we put it on one wrestling fan that we feel stands out from the rest. So, with that being said, our special guest today is a woman who is a 24-year wrestling fan. Wow, that is a lot of years of dedication. I tip my hat off to you. I know it's not easy. And not only that, she's actually a fan of one of the most talented wrestlers in professional wrestling, former world heavyweight champion, Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler to all my huge WWE fans. Everybody, welcome to the show, Courtney Sawicki. How you doing today, miss?
Woo! Yeah, I'm all right.
Awesome. It's great to have you on, Courtney. I know, like I said, I know you said you were nervous. We're not going to put you on the spot. You're going to be fine, man. I mean, trust me. It's all a safe space, man. No judgment here, no nothing. We're all cool here, you know. As many of the people have told you before. So, how's everything if you're in Florida, right?
Yes, I'm actually. Yeah,
Awesome. I used to live down there. I used to live in I don't know if I but at least I used to live in Fort Lauderdale.
I'm actually in Punta Gorda right now.
Punta Gorda. That's, is that Dominican Republic?
I'm honestly, I'm not sure. My aunt just bought a house out here, so
I've never had a
I'm
Punta Gorda.
visiting.
Oh no, it's Punta Cana. Punta Cana is Dominican Republic. I'm sorry. I thought you were like overseas or something.
No.
Yeah. But Florida's a great place. I know you're enjoying the warm weather. It's probably like 70 degrees, 80 degrees over there. I know you guys
Yeah.
are loving life right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale is like right next to Miami. Like you could drive, depending on what part of Fort Lauderdale you're in, you could be in
Yeah.
Miami in like probably 20, 30 minutes or maybe 40, 45 minutes if you take the 95. But great times, great times. So tell us, man, 50 Minutes of Fandom, a show for the wrestling fans. How did your love for professional wrestling start?
Well, I actually had a boyfriend at the time who got me into it, and my mother actually.
Oh, that's cool. So your mom was into wrestling too?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yep.
awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's cool. I
Yep.
always, I'm a first gen wrestling fan. I always wondered how it would be like if both my parents were like wrestling fans. It would be because I could imagine they would probably be like, yeah, let's go to WrestleMania. I'd have been going to WrestleMania at probably age 7 or 6 instead of like finally going to my first one at 29 years ago. But yeah, that must have been awesome. So did your mom ever take you to like any of the wrestling shows like WWE or the local promotions you grew up that were in your area?
Yeah, I've actually gone to maybe only about 8 live WWE wrestling shows.
Okay. Wow. That must have been an experience, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
So who were some of your favorites you enjoyed watching growing up?
God. Oh, HBK, Shawn Michaels,
Okay, okay,
and Triple H, of course.
okay,
Um, The Undertaker.
okay.
What about? Who else? Obviously, Nick Nemeth.
Okay. He's a great talent. I always say, you'll probably agree with me. He should have been a world champion a couple of more times. I was glad he got the world heavyweight title, but I think he should have gotten, a bit more chance in the main event scene.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So did you ever get to like meet any of them or like any of those wrestlers like in person, or you've only been able to see them like on TV or live?
Um, there was actually one time, I believe, I met our truth,
Okay.
and he actually signed my arm because I had nothing to sign with.
Okay. That sounds like our truth. Like he would do something like that.
Yeah, it was great. I like didn't even want to wash my arm for like a week.
Wow. That reminds me of when I met one of my first favorite tag team wrestlers, Paul London. Well, not one of my first, like one of my favorite tag team. I was a huge London and Kendrick fan, and I had bought I think probably the only shirt they ever released as a tag team in WWE, and I bought that shirt in 2008, and then fast forward 5 years later in 2013. I'm going to a wrestling show. It was FME, Family Wrestling and FW, Family Wrestling Entertainment here in New York, and I'm going there, and I see Paul London. He was scheduled to wrestle there, and I'm walking up to him, and he's like, "Oh, look, a fan, cool." And we talked a bit. He was like, "Hey, can I sign your shirt?" I'm like, "I'm sure, man. It's your shirt, man. I'm not gonna stop you. I mean, you can sign it if you want." And to this day, I still have that shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, it's always a great thing meeting those wrestlers and interacting with them and so on. Um, so so you're a huge Nick Nemeth fan. Like, were you a fan like when he was in the ever since Spirit Squad or even before? Were you like, oh, okay, wow, that's dedication, man?
Yep.
Because everybody used to make fun of. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were five talented men, but everybody used to make fun of them, and of course, they were the bad guys. So, you know, they were, it was something. But, um, yeah, they were very talented. So, what was your thought process like? What was going through your mind when he got the one, the two, the three, and he became your new world heavyweight champion?
Like I basically just screamed on the top of my head. Like it was
Okay.
obnoxious.
Hey, it's your favorite wrestler. No problem. You know, a moment I'd always remember in his career was when he was the last surviving member of his team, Survivor
Yep, at
Series
Survivor Series. Yep.
2014,
Mm-hmm.
and Sting made his debut, and he helped Dolph Ziggler get the win, and I was like, wow, that's awesome, and I was like, and I had a feeling that Dolph Ziggler would have definitely like that would have elevated him, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But that night definitely proved that he can definitely go with the could definitely go with the main event guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you have so since you're a huge fan of Nick Nemeth, look at me calling the man Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. You probably know of his brother Ryan Nemeth. Have you ever gotten to see any of his matches or?
I a couple of matches that I got to see of Ryan's actually were on what was it? I think it was AEW Dark.
Okay.
um yeah. I mean he's good too.
Yeah, he is. He is. I always thought that he could have gone far. I remember even seeing him in NXT, and I was like, awesome. He's in WWE with his brother. Hopefully, we can get to see a tag team. And
Yep.
unfortunately, that didn't happen. But speaking of which, what would be your reaction if that happened? Nick and Ryan, they fight whatever tag team or TNA, AEW. Heck, Triple H makes the call. Hey guys, we made a big mistake. We want you guys back as a tag team, and they go back. They beat not Street Profits. Who has the titles? A Town Down Under, or they
Yeah.
beat Awesome Truth, or they go to AEW and they beat who has the tag team title? The Young Bucks. What would
Yeah.
your thought? What would your reaction be if that happens?
I would
It's okay.
absolutely
We don't
love
judge here.
it. I think it would be awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So I just got a few more questions. I know Rob is itching to ask you a couple. Just a heads up, if you're a Star Wars or a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, he's gonna ask you a ton of questions about that. So not judging, but he likes that kind of stuff. So last two questions, man. So aside from WWE, right? You've been to WWE shows. Have you gotten to go to any AEW shows or TNA or any of the other local promotions in Florida?
I've gone to actually this past year. I went to AEW Blood and Guts in Boston, Mass. And
Okay.
crazy. Like the Blood and Guts match was obnoxious.
Oh, okay. Blood and Guts. That was this year, right?
Yeah. Who was it?
What was that?
Was Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, I believe.
Oh, it was last year. I'm sorry. I sorry. Yeah, you
I
said Kenny
forget the
Omega could have.
I forgot the name, the who was in the match. I was just trying to think.
Wait, was it the one with him, Kota Ibushi, and Jericho versus the Don Callis family? Was it that? Rob, you remember that? Rob, I'm not good. My memory's not up to par either. I mean,
I
my
can't.
memory's not the best.
Yeah, I can't remember now. It's been that long.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So so going there, did you see any difference between like the AEW or WWE crowd, or was like just the same?
It was pretty much the same.
Okay. Yeah, when I went to my first and only AEW show, like to me the crowd was just like it was the same thing. It wasn't like, you know, there wasn't any real difference. Although I wouldn't compare it an AEW show to like a regular AEW show, like weekly show to a WrestleMania crowd, because that's completely different. But if I
Yeah.
could compare AEW and Raw, they were like the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my last question before I turn it over to Rob: are there any other shows that you want to check out? Any other like promotions you want to check out aside from AEW, aside from WWE, that you want to check out near? I know Florida. I don't know if you know, but or you probably do. They have a lot of promotions all over. They have promotion in Tampa, South Florida, which is like Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Are there
Yeah.
any like local promotions that you want to check out, or?
Well, and actually, I'm not even from Florida. I'm from Massachusetts.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay.
um, what was the wrestling school in Mass? Taylor Kowalski's his school is actually down in Mass.
Okay. Wow. Does that school still run?
Well, Frankie Kazarian and Eddie Edwards used to train with him, I believe.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I'm assuming it's still around.
That's a lot of history with that school, because you have the game came from there. Triple H, you had China.
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards came from there. I believe I think the Davey Richards go there. I don't know, but
Yeah,
still a lot of prestige with that show with that school. R.I.P.
yeah,
Killer Kowalski, the man with the claw, the man with the he did the claw, right? Right, Rob? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. A lot of history there.
yeah,
Yeah, I know Boston. You guys have a pretty interesting wrestling scene there. I want to
yeah.
check it out one of these days. Um, Hopefully, I get the chance to do so. A lot of great talent up there. You guys have a guy I remember uh, quite clearly, Brian Fury. He was in Ring of Honor, and that man had one heck of a performance. Great guy. You guys have. I remember there was this one woman who kind of scared the heck out of me, Mistress Belmont, or I think her name was Catherine Belmont. Another one that scared me, and then of course, you have one of the one of the I guess you could say one of the female wrestlers in one of the most I don't know if there's a word for a lot of heart, but um one of the most fearless female wrestlers, definitely has a lot of heart. Although she's small in stature, you have Alicia Edwards, the wife of Eddie Edwards. She's another
Hmm.
one too from there. Y'all got a
Yeah,
great wrestling scene, man. I gotta check out a show there one of these days when I get the chance.
yeah. Actually, believe it or not, Eddie and Alicia are actually from my area that I live in
Oh,
in
really?
Mass. Yeah, they're in Peabody, Mass. Actually,
Oh, Peabody. Okay. Or is it
yep,
Peabody? Okay.
Peabody.
Yeah, you guys have some. You guys have some like names that when you pronounce it one way, it's another way. Like yeah, it's Worcester, and I'm busy saying Worcestershire, and people are looking at me funny. And one person's like, "No, it's Worcester." I'm like,
It's
"Okay, my
Worcester.
bad."
Yep. Uh,
But I gotta say, although we're sports rivals, I gotta say, first off, thank you because one, you guys, you're New England Patriots. You guys gave us two hard fought rings. I'm a New York Giants guy, and you guys made us fight for our Super Bowl rings. So now we can say the last
mm,
Super Bowl rings we won were definitely legitimate because we actually, managed to defeat one of the best teams at the time with probably the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady.
yep.
Um, and the second thing is, thank you guys because you guys have given us, one of my favorite movies of all time. Rob, I know you probably saw this, the Boondock Saints with
Yep.
what was it, Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus. Great, great movie. I actually enjoyed that. If y'all haven't
Oh,
seen Boondock Saints, those of you watching, definitely check it out. It's a great movie. It's that there's actually two movies, and it's a great, great series to watch. But enough of me rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions. Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet, thanks. So what's going on? How's your day today in Florida? Nice
it's
sunny
go.
day.
Yep. Nice and sunny. I think I got a little bit of a tan going on.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, man, I'm up here in Delaware, and spring hit us, for a few days. It was in the 70s. Today it's 51 or 50 something around there, and then for race weekend it's gonna be like I think next 2 days is gonna be 80s or something. So I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, here we go, spring. So yeah, today's hoodie weather.
Also, I'm a huge Norman Reedus fan. Just thought I'd point that
Uh,
out.
I know. Yeah, I did a little research and I seen. I like The Walking Dead also. I like them. Yeah,
Yep.
but
I got.
I, I didn't finish it. I quit around. I stopped watching it around. I guess season after Glenn's death because I was like, man, they just go to a place, take it over. Somebody comes over, then they move, go over, take over another place. Somebody try to take them over. I was like, all right. But I
Yep.
need to check it out. I need to finish it. It's on my thing. I've been going through a rewatch on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's like literally the only series I watch on Netflix.
I
It
watched
gets
that.
better.
Which one?
It gets better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
heard.
it
Yeah,
gets.
I heard it.
Uh,
Yeah, I heard. It was a little downhill, and then toward the end, it got better and stuff.
yeah.
Negan redeemed himself, and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
It,
dark. Is
yeah. I watched Rick. He was getting. They were trying to capture him in one episode. He just like ripped somebody's neck out with his teeth. You know, what I mean, like vampire style. So you know, what I mean, you can't get much a lot dark. You know, things can get darker. You know, but I like The Walking
oh yeah,
Dead. You know, in the prime, I remember I would be out with friends or whatever, and I'd be like, oh man, it's 8:30. It comes on 9. I need to get home because it's about 20 minutes
yep.
for me to get home. I'll catch y'all at 10 or whatever. But then they had the Talking Dead after, so I was like, well, I can't do nothing tonight because I need to talk to somebody about it, and then that was a relief for me, So I wish Netflix had that, so I could watch the episode, then watch the Talking Dead, and I'll watch the next episode. Because even
I
still,
wish.
I'm like, even still, I've seen the episodes, a million times. I'm like, I want to talk to somebody about this. You know what I mean? Like, dang.
Yep.
So, back to some wrestling. You say you've been a fan about 24 years, so you started watching around 2000 ish.
Yep.
So, did you get to see any WCW, ECW stuff, or were you just pretty much, y'all, your boyfriend at the time, mom, pretty much WWF stuff,
I God, who was the last Ezekiel? Who was the last ECW champion?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
It
I know
was
Mike Awesome was there at the end.
it was something Ezekiel or Ezekiel something.
Ezekiel Jackson.
Oh yeah, ECW,
Yeah.
yeah, WWE. Okay, I know what you're talking
Yep. Yeah. He was like the last ever champion.
about. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking of the old school ECW, like up in Philly, Okay, yeah, I forgot
Yeah, like
about when.
the
Yeah,
Tommy Dreamer and yeah. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Cause I remember going to those. I remember I got my license and they had the thing in Philly, and I was like, "Mom, can I go up there to Philly?" And all she was like, "No, no, you ain't going up there," But when they came down around here to like Dell State, UD or something, she was like, "Yeah, you can go 20 minutes to the show over there, so in case something happens, you're close to home." But you and your brother, my brother's like 10, 11 at the time, like you two are not going up to Philly at ECW Arena by yourselves. What I mean? Like, no, you're going, no. I was like, "Oh, come on, Mom." And now that I'm in the business and I hear stories about people being there backstage, I'm like, "Thank you, Mom." Thank you. Like, oh man. So, did you get to catch WrestleMania?
Yes.
Now, what was your thoughts on WrestleMania? What night did you like better, or were they about the same? Did you like night one or night two?
I was a night 2.
Night two.
Yeah.
I guess night two was good. Cody finished the story, and then they had the Rock and Undertaker and everybody come out there at the end. That was
Yep.
pretty cool. I like that. I like that.
Yep.
Did you hear that it was supposed to be Stone Cold there at the end? But I guess he
Yeah.
didn't have. He had something to do, but then it was like, all right, we'll get Taker. Taker's like, I'll do it. Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Taker, I want to share a funny Undertaker story I had with you. Now, when I was a kid in like the '90s, he came to our high school, local high school or whatever, to do WWE. They did a little house show there. Like Bob Backlund. It was when Bob Backlund and Bret Hart were feuding over the championship. Well, during there, it was this is like '94, 3, 4, 5, somewhere around there. I can't, I'm in my 40s. You know what I mean? So I'm an old man. But yeah, and on the match on the undercard, it was Diesel Kevin Nash versus Undertaker in a casket match. So they had came out there in the casket match and all this stuff. They had their match, and then all of us kids, I was probably like sixth grade, something around there. We were all like, "Yo!" After the match, let's go out. We went around back to where the wrestlers park their cars at and stuff, trying to get autographed, all this stuff, and all. Undertaker's going out there. Let's go right after the match. We like out there and all. We waited. Him and Paul Bearer come walking out and stuff, and they were arguing over who had the last of the vodka. Right, and it was so crazy because it wasn't like it was on TV, like, "Oh, Undertaker, you had the last of the vodka." No, it was like normal speaking voice, like, "Oh, Paul, I didn't take that. I mean, you were the one who had no, you didn't, you." And that was like we were all like, "All right." So that's how Undertaker feels no pain. Now we know his secret now. He takes the vodka on the way to the ring. That's how he feels no pain. Yeah, so like I seen those guys later on. Like, we'll still talk about that. Like, you remember Undertaker? They were talking about It's always like, yeah, the tequila, the whiskey. I was like, no, it's vodka. It was vodka. So you said you've never gotten to meet any of the wrestlers or whatever yet, right? Or just R-Truth?
Yeah, R-Truth was really the only one.
Okay, that's cool. Now, watching WWE, do you watch like NXT or anything? Do you ever check that out? See who's up and coming.
Believe it or not, I watch Raw, NXT, and SmackDown every
Ooh,
week.
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, NXT I've been a little slacking on. I mean, I keep forgetting. It's Tuesday. I'm like, all right, or whatever. But one of my favorites. Roxanne Perez. We actually interviewed her on here when she was Roxy. As champ. Again. So, who are your favorites at NXT right now? You out there. You like are you out there cheering "Whoop that trick" and all this good
Love
stuff?
that. Absolutely. Like
That's
I
right.
am like beyond like excited for Trick. Like, ugh, I love that for him.
That's right. That's right. So, doesn't NXT do stuff around there in Florida? Are you going to be in Florida for a while?
I mean, I'm gonna be here for well, it's about 3 weeks still.
Okay, okay. Well,
Um,
yeah, I wasn't
I
sure
would,
if you were going to catch a NXT show because I heard they're down there in Florida, right?
yeah, they're actually in Orlando, but
Ooh, okay.
the only thing being is it's like 2 hours away from where I'm at.
Okay, so what are you at? Like, are you kind of like on the other side, like near the Gulf of Mexico? Are you closer to that?
I think I'm actually not too sure where in
Okay,
Florida.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
All I know in Florida, I have family in St. Augustine. I forget, and it's somewhere down a little south of there. So.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. But hey, hey, at least when you come back in 3 weeks or whatever, hopefully, Massachusetts, they're gonna be all, it's gonna be nice warm weather, so you won't have to, be a culture shock to you or whatever.
I know. Like, I don't want to have to wear pants on a sweatshirt anymore.
Oh man, I know, man. I'm hoping that those months are done, So
I hope so.
so since since Dolph or Nick Nemeth, he's not WWE or anything. Who are you rooting for now? Who who are your favorites that you're rooting for now?
Oh my god. Um, Liv Morgan's been one of them for a while now.
Hmm. Okay, I like Liv.
Um, Becky's been one too.
Hmm.
Um, what is it? Cody, obviously.
Okay.
And Seth Rollins.
Ooh, okay, okay. It's crazy. I work with a guy at 1CW here in Delaware. His name is he looks just like Seth Rollins. Miles Millennium. We'll sit there and we're like, man, what's this Seth Rollins dude doing over here? Oh, it's Miles. He looks just like him. If you ever go on, afterwards or whatever, look up Miles Millennium or whatever. Like, yeah, he's a little Seth Rollins dude. Yeah, he looks just like him. So anyway, I want to say before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for coming on, chatting with us about wrestling, all Walking Dead, all that good stuff. I wish you nothing but the best, all the positive things that happen to you and your family. I hope you have a great time down there in Florida, and watch out for them gators and them, the pythons or snakes or whatever they got down there, because
A lot of
that,
gators.
yeah, that jungle area or what, whatever, man. So yeah, I'm good. Be careful.
Yeah.
Courtney, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. This is one of our segments that we enjoy doing. We actually enjoy all our segments, but we actually enjoy speaking to fellow wrestling fans about their love for pro wrestling and everything. So, on behalf of myself, Rob Bass, and our other co-host Kathy Knight, who couldn't be here, and the rest of our ringside side crew, we just want to say thank you very much. We hope you get to check out more wrestling shows in Florida or Massachusetts or wherever you go. And I hope Nick Nemeth, wins that big one, that big world title in TNA. So that
Yep.
way, we can definitely see you have all your posts. Nick Nemeth, he's champion, all that, and um, we just wish you all the best. And with that being said, before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to, talk wrestling and all great things of the Massachusetts indie wrestling scene?
All right. So for Twitter, or X as they call it now, I believe it's just at Courtney Sawicki. For Instagram, it's at Courtney Sawicki _, I believe.
Okay.
And those are like the main two that I'm on.
Okay. So y'all definitely heard, definitely give her a follow. And if you're in Massachusetts, definitely make sure you give her a follow. And that way, you have somebody to talk about, the indie scene in Massachusetts and, wrestling with in general. It's always great to find other people to talk wrestling with and so on. And, with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyes are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap.
Yep.
Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Sean Spence to my Burton Guster, the Tommy to my Ghost, and the Bubba Ray to my Devon. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out where your next appearance is, purchase Rob Base merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Rob_base82, Facebook Rob Base, and you can catch me every Saturday, 10 a.m. Delmarva Sports Network, 1CW. Referee and doing something or whatever. If you can't catch us every Saturday at 10 a.m., just go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. Look at 1CW. We got show one till all the way till now. I think to last week when we did a little fan thing at the fair. So we're all booked up. If you want to catch up with everything, check it out. And then we got our next show is May 11th in Houston, Delaware. I'm not sure who all is gonna the matchups yet, but yeah, May 11th, 6 p.m. Houston, Delaware. We're definitely gonna set one off for everybody around.
Yes, y'all definitely make sure if you're in Houston, Delaware, or any of the surrounding areas, or any of the cities that 1CW goes to, make sure you put time aside, check them out. They're a great promotion. They do a lot of great things. I'm not just saying this because Rob is my co-host. I've actually been to one of their shows. As a matter of fact, I was just there 2 weeks ago for WrestleMania week. They put on one heck of a show. I was thoroughly entertained and thoroughly impressed, and y'all will too. So make sure you get over to 1CW whenever they show up in your city and watch the men and women do great things in professional wrestling. If you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a couple of cool places. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. Our podcast, I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter. I don't care if it's called X. I still call it Twitter. Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society. Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We have a Teespring store where we're actually reorganizing it because there's certain things that we're just trying to do better and do properly. So we have a Teespring store. We're gonna put on our merch back up, or we're just reorganizing right now. But just stay tuned for that. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the ones we've had with several other great men and women like Adriana Mosley, the Renegade Twins, Diamond Sheik, many great men and women, not just in the US of A, but all over the world. In the world of professional wrestling, you can find those interviews on YouTube. And to see them, it's really simple. You don't have to you don't have to be rocket science to actually see them. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really good-looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it, that's where you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning live tonight. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop doing that. To those of you that are listening later on, we get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at a Gorda Corral and Rob Bass at a Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being said, we just want everybody to know that we're very well and aware We see it all the time. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. Hey, yo, Rob Bass. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Boston or the Massachusetts or the New England wrestling indie scene, and one time for our special guest, Courtney Sawicki.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the
Yeah.
Wrestling Fan Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back either next, probably most likely next week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have four favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
I don't know.